Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in as always. Got a nice easy maintenance one this morning. We're just going to be cleaning the mass airflow sensor. So mass airflow sensor is a sensor used to determine the mass flow rate of air entering a fuel injected internal combustion engine. The air mass information is necessary for the engine control unit, the ECU, to balance and deliver the correct fuel mass to the engine. Just read that from Wikipedia. Did you notice? Anyway, so I'm just going to remove these. You only need basic tools, a small Phillips screwdriver. So I'm going to remove those two screws and remove this very gently. Obviously first remove the plug, and I've got some basic elements to assist along the way. WD-40 just in case we need to loosen up these screws at all, electrical contact cleaner to clean the MAF sensor, a little bit of multi-purpose grease or Lanagard just to put a little bit of grease on the threads, and isopropyl rubbing alcohol and some cotton wool buds just in case we need to agitate any areas. So I'm just going to put a couple of little squirts of WD-40 in here and here, like so, and leave that to dwell, and I'm going to go and put the kettle on. Obviously my working space is there on the intercooler, and the electrical contact cleaner isn't going to cause any damage to that. And just a couple of rags so I don't drop anything, and a spare rag there just in case I need to wipe down. And of course, first things first, you need to remove this multi-plug, and you do that by pressing down on this little tab here. Just press on that, and a reasonable pull, and she's away. And I'll probably have, I mean, this looks nice and clean, but I'm going to clean that as well because I kind of like cleaning. Couple of squirts in here, can't hurt. Same for that, even though that's getting cleaned again in a moment. But my motto is, you can never be too clean. Right, let's just tease these out. I'll do the last bit off camera, obviously, because I don't want to lose any screws. And that was a thing just to mention. Put down as many cloths as appropriate, just to prevent yourself from dropping anything in the engine bay, because there's nothing more frustrating than dropping bits inside the bay and then having to find a magnet later. Right, that's both of those out, both of those clean, looking okay. I'm going to give them a wipe down, put some lubricant on them when they go back in, just to ease that situation next time, and then gently tease this out, being sure not to damage the sensor. And there we have it. There it is. So I'll pop that there. I meant to say at the start of the video, actually, there's varying comments and opinions on this throughout the internet, as with everything. And I read an interesting article that some people were saying they do an oil change every 5,000 and say 3 times a year, clean the K&N or their air filter every twice a year, and just aim to do this once a year. Can't go wrong. So I've had mine STI for 4.5 years and have never ever cleaned this. So we're going to get it all cleaned, the contacts, the sensor, and up inside. So I'm going to get it liberally doused with electrical contact cleaner, and then after that leave it to dry. And depending on the success rate of the electrical contact cleaner, I might just gently clean the probe with a small amount of isopropyl rubbing alcohol on a cotton wool bud. But you can see immediately that this is starting to get a little bit more shine to it. give that a good dousing. And I know you can get specific MAF sensor cleaner, but what I've read is it's about double the price and does a very similar thing. Just going to get that all over. I know we're not cleaning electrical sensors there, but if it gets off some of the detritus off the top of the sensor, I am happy. Right, let's just pause this, get some isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and we'll just go around the sensor, the probe, really quick. So 70% isopropyl rubbing alcohol. You can get this from Amazon. I have it in stock because I quite enjoy restoring old electronics, particularly retro gaming handhelds. So I'm just going to go in very gently and just give this a little wipe. Nothing too, certainly not applying any force. Just give that a little clean, but you can see there is a fair degree of gunk in there. So anything that's going to help this perform to its optimum efficiency can only be a good thing. So I'm going to get a couple of those through, get that to pristine, and then we'll let it dry, just so you can see the gunk coming off it. Again, absolutely 100% not fingering that or touching it or applying any force, just going in very delicately with a cotton wool bud. And that is beginning, I can actually see metal. Whereas before it just looked like a charred mess. I'll probably get a cotton wool bud down there as well. Just going neat in the solution. I'm just having a very delicate wipe around, just to make sure everything is pristine, got good contacts, clean probe. Make sure that's on camera, sorry. Ooh. Let's pop that there. So hopefully we can see that. Just trying to find somewhere to lean. So you're starting to see some shiny metal, which is nice. I'm going to get that all cleaned, give it a little wipe down, need both paws for that, and then set it down, leave it to dry, get it back installed. So that's lovely and clean. Got the probe nice and clean. We're all looking good. Got a liberal additional douse inside the housing, cleaned the contacts. That's going to be sat to dry. And also worth noting, when you remove and when you're looking to reinstall, there's a little rubber gasket on here, or rubber O-ring. Just make sure that that's not damaged, and make sure it re-engages when you put it back in. It should be sat on that little neck, and then when you reinstall, it should make a nice seal on the upper aperture. And also a good opportunity to have a little clean all around, just to make sure there's no gunk and certainly nothing that's getting pushed back inside, and have a little inspection to make sure it's clean. When you are cleaning this area, if you either just wipe here outwards, pull any dirt outwards, and then put a clean cloth in here and then do the rest, or if you've only got one cloth, just always ping away any dirt. I found a little bit trapped in here, a little bit trapped in here, so just wipe away from the aperture. The less detritus you get in here, the better, preferably zero. Anyway, that's all clean. This is all clean. Gonna leave this to dry 10-15 minutes in the atmosphere, and then we'll get it reinstalled, and that's that done. I'm just going to get a little bit of lubricant on the thread or shaft of these screws, albeit they screw into plastic, so it's not enormously important, but I don't want to get in a situation where this degrades to the point where the head rounds off or it's utterly useless. So I'm just going to get a small amount of grease on them. To be honest, because of their size and for simplicity, I'm just going to use a little bit of that. Oh. Almost did precisely what I said not to do. Don't lose any objects down the engine bay. Just keep him covered, keep him covered. Nice. So once that's all dry, 15 minutes, we'll get that back on the car. I'm just going to put a very thin daub of grease on here and here, just because mine was just starting to show a very small amount of oxidization. So when I say thin, I mean almost imperceivable, just to keep that from getting any more corroded. And this is just Lanogard Moto grease. I'm going to put a tiny bit on there, wipe off any excess, keep that in a little bit in the threads. And this might seem a little bit anal, but that's just what I'm like. I like everything to be lubricated, clean and happy. And I did think also, just to keep this little O-ring nice and moist, I'm just going to go a very thin layer around there, so we get a good seal and that stays nice and moist. And then I'm just going to wipe off any excess on the cloth before installation, so nothing goes inside. So we've got a nice, happy, moisturised O-ring, not huge chunks in there. Just make sure I don't drop anything. And we are going back very carefully, exactly where she came from. I'll get the screws done off camera and then a wrap up. And that is that. So the screws don't have to be done up Herculean tight because they're just screwing into plastic. Clip needs to be fully engaged. You'll get a nice click when that's in. And give everything a wipe down and stand back and look at your handiwork. And that's it. A nice, easy, routine maintenance task to keep your Forester Sg9 running smoothly. Hope you enjoyed that one. Hope it was helpful. And I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Thanks for watching as always. Take care. Bye bye.